All right, welcome to the second episode of Ball Knowers 101. I know it's an interesting name. I'll probably change it from time to time, but we'll just keep it for now because, we know ball over here. Uh, Hope you enjoyed last episode about the Cincinnati Reds. They're just about to play, actually. I believe, yep. They are on at 3:05 and they play the Avengers, aka the Los Angeles Dodgers. We'll probably lose, but hey, you never know. Might be a better game than people think. But yeah, play the Dodgers at 3:05. They're 10-3 this spring. We're 6-4. So we just beat the Cuba national team yesterday. It was like 19-2, I think. Let me see. It's, yes, 19-2. It was ridiculous. We absolutely walloped these guys. Oh, God, I have to be a subscriber to read that. That's dumb. Let's go to the MLB.com to see the box score. I listened to it a bit while I was at work. I didn't really watch it. Let's see here. If it would let me go to the box score. Yes, okay, accept the cookies to the website. Stop. Here we go. Let's see. Friedel went 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Solid. McLean, he went 1 for 4. He had a run. Nice. Ellie went 0 for 1, I guess. I think he went over. No, he didn't even go over anything. He just got walked twice. Blade is absolutely killing it this spring training. He went 2 for 3 today, yesterday. I think he had a home run as well, if I'm not mistaken. Sal Stewart, he also had a home run yesterday. I saw that. He went 2 for 3 as well with, yeah, okay. Steer 1 for 3. Nathaniel Lowe, another great pickup in free agency. He went 1 for 2. Pretty sure he had an RBI yesterday. Noelvi Marte, he had a great game yesterday. He went 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs. That's a great day. I'm pretty sure he also had a home run. Brian Hayes went 1 for 2. Nice. Yeah, just an all around great day for us. That's that's awesome. Friedel had a double. Stewart had a double. Steer had a double. Marte had a double. Nathaniel Lowe had a double. Marte had a home run. Stewart had a home run. Day had a home run. Jeez, this is awesome. Louder, another great outing. 3 strikeouts in 3 innings. Only gave up 2 hits. That's what we like to see. Graham Ashcraft, he did all right. Came in for an inning. He gave up 200 runs, I guess, but it's Graham Ashcraft. What are you gonna do? He's all right. It just really depends on the day with him. You never know what you're gonna get. All right, into what we're really here for is do it's a debate. Do we think the MLB should require a salary cap? That is the question for today's podcast. I know my answer. Being a Cincinnati Reds fan and being a part of the small market, I am definitely for the salary cap. Just so I think it will create an even playing field. Like I even even in my community college, we had to do an argumentative essay, and I did mine on why Major League Baseball should have a salary cap. So I'm gonna take some of the facts that I had in there. I'm gonna read a little bit to you guys, just because I believe I got some really good information in this essay that I did. I got like 140 out of 150 on it, so like I got like a 95, 96. So I did really good on it. No, it was 190 out of 200. That was the score. Yeah, the scored out of 200 was kind of odd, but oh well. I'm gonna read a little bit. So, Los Angeles Dodgers, New York Yankees, New York Mets, and the Philadelphia Phillies are examples of big market teams in Major League Baseball. Additionally, these teams bring in the top players due to their funds they can and are willing to spend. These funds affect the way teams access certain players in free agency, how teams construct their roster, and how their future funds determine who they can sign. Everyone wants to see their team succeed in the MLB. Supporters of no salary cap believe that every team can spend the money to gain access to star players. I'm actually going to pull this up on my laptop so everyone can see if they're watch it on YouTube. However, this raises uncertainty that if a salary cap was established, there would be financial stability across the league. Although some believe a salary cap should not be required in the Major League Baseball Association, nevertheless, a salary cap should be required because there are too many successful big market teams. The salary cap would create an even playing field and allow star players to be evenly distributed and improve financial stability. So, a salary cap should be established because big market teams have the advantage. They are taking over the game and minimizing small markets teams' success. In the article, MLB World Series winners, at least one of these teams, Los Angeles Dodgers, the Philadelphia Phillies, Houston Astros, Atlanta Braves, and Texas Rangers have been in the World Series 9 out of the last 10 years. Additionally, the article Moneyball How Each MLB Team Fared with Their Payroll provides results of the 2025 MLB season and compares the team's wins to their payrolls. The graph shows that the Los Angeles Dodgers, Philadelphia Phillies, New York Yankees, and Toronto Blue Jays were among the highest payrolls in the league. Furthermore, the teams mentioned were also among the highest number of wins in the 2025 season. So, I'm actually going to click on the website because it'll actually show the graphs better. Here we go. In 2025, the top teams with MLB, the top teams with the most wins, the Brewers. You'll have that. There will be outliers. There's always outliers in every graph. You'll have that in statistics. But they had 97. Then came the Phillies with 96. Then the Blue Jays with 94. Then the Yankees with 94. Then the Dodgers with 93. Then the Cubs are in the middle pack of the team. So they had 92. Mariners, that was kind of an outlier as well. They had 90. Padres had 90. Red Sox, they had 89. Guardians had 88. Houston Astros had 87. The Mets had 87. No, the Mets had 83. The Reds had 83. The Royals had 82. You get the idea. And at the bottom, with all the low market teams, we have Baltimore Orioles. They had 75. And then the Angels, 72. The Pirates, 71. The Twins, 70. Nationals, 66. White Sox, 60. And to no one's surprise, the Colorado Rockies with 43. And now, if we scroll down just a little bit more, we can see the highest payrolls of that season. So first we have the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they of course had the highest payroll to no one's surprise with 350 million because they can just spend the most amount of money because they don't give a shit. that's all it really is. They do not care. They will spend as much money as possible. And then you had the New York Mets with 342 million. They did not make the playoffs because they had the worst second half of the season. So thank you Mets for sucking and allowing my Reds to get in the playoffs, but we choked. Well, we didn't choke. We just got swept by the Avengers. So what can you do? Philadelphia Phillies, they had 290 million. That's not a shock because everyone knows about Bryce Harper telling Rob Manfred to get the blank out of the clubhouse. That was quite the story when it came up. Blue Jays, they made the World Series, 255 million. Astros, 233 million. Texas Rangers, that was weird. It was weird. The Rangers made the World Series. What was it? 2 years ago? Pretty sure it was 2 years ago. It was either one or two. Yeah, 2023. And then all of a sudden they're back down to like bottom five, bottom 10 teams in the league. Doesn't really make sense. Braves, same thing with Braves. That one's kind of odd. They're higher market, 219. Padres, that's not a shock, 217 million. Cubs, 212. Los Angeles Angels, I thought they were a small market team. I'm not gonna lie. Huh, I guess I was wrong. Only 201 million. Boston Red Sox, 201 million. Yep. Diamondbacks, 179 million. Yep, that makes sense. And then we get to the bottom. Miami Marlins, 68 million. Yeah. White Sox, 79 million. Yep. Pirates, 84 million. Yep. Rays, 88 million. Yep. Guardians, 100 million. That one shocks me just a little bit. I thought they had a little bit more. Nationals, 110 million. Yep. Reds, 120 million. Yep. Brewers, 122 million. Yeah, the Brewers, like, they don't have money, but somehow they just always have really good players. It doesn't matter. They're always solid. It's like, I swear, they always make the playoffs and then lose in the first round. Like, that's just what they do. Rockies, 129 million. Wow, they had a lot more than I thought. I thought they were down in double digits. I guess not. Nice. Cardinals, 131 million. Minnesota Twins, 130. You get the idea. So as we go back, you can clearly see the disproportionate from payroll, the amount of payroll that a team has to the amount of regular season wins they have. Obviously, you have the outliers like the Milwaukee Brewers, the Mariners. You'll have teams like that. That happens every MLB season, but you get the idea. So, and after that, another reason the MLB should establish a salary cap is to create an even level playing field among teams and evenly distribute star players. For instance, in the article MLB Labor How Fight Over Salary Cap Will Shape Negotiations, Jeff Passan, freaking Passan, man, he's always reporting some, says the Los Angeles Dodgers recently won the World Series back-to-back years. Some of their roster contracts consist of $700 million for Shohei Ohtani, $325 million for Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and $182 million for Blake Snell. Those are only three players, guys, and they're all pitchers. Only three players. And that is a combined 1.2 billion dollars right there in just three pitchers. To put this in perspective, that's almost 18 times the entire Miami Marlins roster. If that doesn't scream problem to you, then I don't know what can and what will. Okay? However, there is a I don't know if some people might not actually know this. There's a luxury tax in baseball. However, it doesn't stop teams from going over it, and I'll explain this here in a bit. Um, in the article I found Revenue Sharing in Professional Sports Leagues by Duane Rockaberry, um, she informs that the luxury tax is commonly known as the competitive balance tax. This tax is the overuse of a club's payroll, which offers teams a reward to not spend their money handsomely on players. Teams such as the Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, and Phillies consistently exceed the competitive balance tax because they generate so much revenue from ticket sales, broadcasting options, and merchandise sales that they can easily pay for the tax. So basically what this means is that every team has a luxury tax that they can't go over. Like you're not supposed to. It's supposed to keep that competitiveness, right? Of spending money on players, keeping it fair, whatever. The Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, and Phillies could give less of an F. Okay? They do not care. They will go over that limit if it means to win. And that's what I feel like most teams should do. I feel like they should. Like that's the whole point of the sport, man. You're trying to win. But it makes it a problem because other teams don't have as much money as they do. So other teams can't go over that because then they have to pay that penalty and that empties out their pockets for the next season. Whereas for the Dodgers, Mets, Yankees, and Phillies, it doesn't empty out their pockets for next season. They're infinite money bags over here. They have infinite money glitch. It does not matter. They can go over this. And they don't get I mean, obviously, like they get some taken out, but it's not a big enough penalty that it's going to affect them in the long run. However, when you have teams like the Pirates, the Reds, um, Marlins, the Rays, teams like that, if they go over this luxury tax, they're screwed for the next couple of years. It's unfair. It's unfair. Furthermore, teams have had to sign their younger star guys to contract extensions early in their career before they hit free agency. This is so other big market teams wouldn't be able to take advantage and steal their star young players right away. Now, this is difficult today in today's age because teams are seeing the type of contracts that the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, all of them are handing out, and the young guys are like, why the heck would I stay with you when I can get $100 million more over here? It's absurd. What? Loyalty is lost in today's game of sports. I mean, there are a few outliers, of course, but like Joey Votto, Joey Votto is a great example of that. He stayed with the Reds his entire career. He is top notch, the best example of that, of loyalty. Even though the Reds kind of dissed him and made him go to the Blue Jays that 1 year, but hey, that's besides the point. Um, but yeah, these younger guys are realizing their talent level, which is good for them, obviously, right? Go get make that money, but there's no loyalty because these small market teams can't offer them enough money. They can't offer them enough money to stay, and they're seeing big contracts fly out to role players, and they're like, shit, I'm gonna go over there for the Dodgers, and I'll get 100 more than you'll ever pay me. It's unfair. That just sound like I'm complaining. I am. Let's see here. In this book I found In Pursuit of Pennants, Baseball Operations from Deadball to Moneyball. It states first teams are often using younger, cheaper minor league veterans instead of aging major leaguers and as role players. Additionally, teams often try to sign their young star players to long term contracts before they are eligible for free agency. For example, the Minnesota Twins signed reigning MVP Joe Mauer to an 8-year, $184 million contract after the 2009 season to prevent his impending free agency a year later. This evidence shows that even over 15 years ago, small market teams were struggling against bigger market teams in free agency edition. This is still relevant in today's game, as mentioned later, with a list of players that have left their small market teams to join bigger market teams and make a bigger name for themselves. Okay, so another great example of this, and it's another Reds player, unfortunately. Yeah, see, my life sucks as a Reds player. Ellie De La Cruz. We all know him. I feel like most people, even though a lot of people say he's a strikeout merchant or he's just an error merchant. Yeah, we get it. The jokes, blah blah blah. I think he's a great player, and I think he's still developing. He's still young. He's 23 or 24, I believe, and he just put on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle this offseason. So I am not really worried about him. I believe this will be his best season yet, and fight me. So, anyways, back to the salary cap. Ellie De La Cruz. The Reds offered him the biggest contract in Cincinnati Reds history. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, they offered him the biggest contract in Cincinnati Reds history. Now, I don't know how big that contract is because it's the Reds and we're a small market team, so I don't know how big this contract would have been. However, he turned it down immediately. Him and his agent immediately turned it down. And it honestly shouldn't come to a shock to anyone because he's looking at the Dodgers and the Yankees. He's looking at Juan Soto over there. He's looking at Yamamoto. He's looking at Blake Snell. He's looking at Kyle Tucker just now this season. Screw Kyle Tucker for that, by the way. Um, he's looking at those guys and he's like, shit, I can make triple to what you just offered me. Like, I mean, if you're wanting money and not, if you're just wanting to win, like, I don't know how to word this. If you're just wanting money, then yeah, that makes sense. Like, go make your money, dude, I guess. But I don't know. I'm the type of guy that I'd rather win over money, but I guess it doesn't matter in this case because it's the Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers, bro. Because the Dodgers have money and they always have the stacked team. And yeah, but I don't know. For me, I would, this is, this is all opinion, by the way. And maybe it's different when you get up in the majors and you have all that money sitting in front of you. It probably is. But for me, I would stay loyal to the team that drafted me because they're the first ones that gave me a chance by even drafting me and even looking at me. So if I got up to the majors and I was like a getting to a star player level, like an all-star player level, I would want my team to win. I would want my team to be better around me. I would I would sign cheaper deals so that we can get better guys around me and we can have a team. We can have a better team, a team filled with like star caliber to like big role player type of guys. Like why would you not want that? I mean, I guess the money aspect and getting paid hundreds and hundreds of $1 million. Yes, I can see that, but I don't know. That's just my perspective on it. And I feel like loyalty is a lost art in sports nowadays. Like you don't see many loyal sports guys anymore. It's like you don't see that loyalty anymore. It's kind of crazy. Like even LeBron left. Kevin Durant, that's an obvious one. He's such a clown. Freddie Freeman. I mean, I think we were all shocked when he went to the Dodgers. But that's because the Braves didn't offer him a contract until like the last minute, I believe, if I remember this right. Why did Freddie Freeman leave the Braves? Contract negotiations stalled over the length of yep. Braves grew impatient, ultimately trading for yep. That's what I thought. Unbelievable. He wanted to stay loyal, and that team, maybe that's why they're not staying loyal anymore because teams just screw him over. Oh shoot. Um, yeah, I did a survey on social media with the salary cap, and I'll probably put a survey in with this episode, so I'll do that later. An additional reason the MLB should implement a salary cap is for improved financial stability for all teams. For example, in the MLB, teams are allowed to give contracts to their players called salary deferrals. In this article, should the MLB implement a salary cap and what would it look like if it did? Dylan Choi explains that these contracts allow teams to present a player with their full term financial contract, but most of the salary will be deferred and not presented to the player until 8 to 10 years later. Now, if you don't really understand what the salary deferral is, I'll explain it to you. Shohei Otani is the most recent and greatest example of this. He signed I believe, 10 years, $700 million contract with the Dodgers, I believe. I probably have the money off. Shohei Otani's contract. Well, it's like the first one that came up. Yeah, 10 years, $700 million contract with the Dodgers. The deal is unique with a 680 million deferred, meaning he earns 2 million annually. He only earns $2 million annually from 2024 to 2033, while the Dodgers will pay $68 million per year later. So he makes $2 million per year from 2024, the season that his contract started, to 2033 when this contract will end. And then after that, from 2034 to 2043, the Dodgers will pay the rest of that with $68 million a year for 10 years. Ridiculous. This worthwhile deal may sound great at the time because the team offering the contract will have more financial freedom that season. However, when the time comes to pay that player what they are owed, teams will struggle that season because they just paid a big contract and won't have much financial stability for the season and several seasons to come. Now, when writing this, I didn't realize this, but when it comes to teams like the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Phillies, it's not really gonna mess with them. They're still gonna have money. I mean, yes, it will be like another player taking up a roster spot, but they still have infinite, infinite amount of money. I know they don't have infinite amount of money, but that's what it feels like with the Dodgers. It feels like they're just pulling it out of their ass every single season. I mean, why wouldn't you? You're in Los Angeles. You're in the most profitable economy over there. Everything is more expensive over there. I mean, yeah, warm weather too. Like, come on. However, when the time comes, yeah, we read that. Another issue the salary cap would fix financially is free agency for every team. In the MLB, free agency is dominated by the bigger market teams because they have more financial flexibility and are willing to spend more on players than small market teams. For instance, Choi explains that in recent history, players such as Bryce Harper transitioned from the Washington Nationals to the Philadelphia Phillies since the Phillies were willing to pay Harper as much as he wanted. Additionally, the same process occurred with several other teams. CC Sabathia went from the Brewers to the Yankees. Freddie Freeman went from the Braves to the Dodgers. And the well-known example is Shohei moving from Angels to the Dodgers. However, in other major sports leagues that require salary caps, such as the National Basketball Association, teams must strategize which players to play and develop the core of the roster. To illustrate, players such as LeBron James and Kevin Durant have been on multiple teams because the salary cap was in place, causing teams to game plan around their roster with. So basically, what that's saying is that teams were trying to game plan around LeBron James and Kevin Durant, and they couldn't afford it really. So they went to a little bit more of the bigger market teams, but the NBA actually has a salary cap, so that's not really an issue. Okay, so we've all heard the arguments for why there should be a salary cap. So let's go into the counter argument on why some will believe that the MLB shouldn't require a salary cap. So there are others that believe the MLB should not require a salary cap because they feel as though players should be paid what they think they deserve. Small market teams misuse their financials, and baseball is a team sport, not just 1 to 2 star players. So in one of my surveys, a respondent said, uh, they said it should not require a salary cap They said they introduced this idea. No, in fact, I think there needs to be a salary floor. There's no reason to punish the teams that spend money to help their team win. When they have the revenue that helps them produce the salary budget for the players they need because of the attendance and sales they bring in. So this respondent brings up the idea of a salary floor in simpler terms. This would mean teams would have to spend at least a certain amount of money on their players' salaries in a season. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it because the issue with this proposal is that big market teams would still be on top of the food chain because they aren't afraid of spending their money and the floor wouldn't affect their decisions in any way. In the article, Why Major League Baseball Does Not Need a Salary Cap for the Sake of Parity, Matt Snyder mentions that there hasn't been a repeat champion in baseball in 21 straight years. However, the counter argument to this is that MLB's history shows that one of the six big market teams I mentioned before, Dodgers, Braves, Phillies, Astros, Rangers, and Blue Jays, has been in the World Series 14 times in the past 21 years. To put this in perspective, 66% of the last 21 World Series have contained at least one of the six top payrolls in the MLB. Lastly, others believe that MLB teams misuse their funds when it comes to paying their players. For instance, in the article Major League Baseball team payroll disparity continues to escalate, Bernie Pleskoff explains how the Baltimore Orioles made the financial mistake of giving Chris Davis, yes, Chris Davis, legend, a 7 year, $161 million contract because of the following year. His stats drastically dropped. Additionally, Pleskoff mentions the same thing happened with the Cleveland Guardians when they signed Josh Bell a contract of $33 million for 2 years. These contracts cause these teams to be in a rut of financial issues because they are at the bottom of the league's payroll. Also, this made these teams not make any more big financial moves after the negative impact they had. So after they misused their funds, they were like, "Yeah, we're never doing that again. We are never spending that much on a player ever again. So we're done. That's not happening." So to finish off this argument of my essay, my very well written essay, I must say. No. Overall, there needs to be serious consideration for a salary cap in the MLB. Opinions on a salary cap vary among many fans of baseball. Many of the fans agree that the MLB should not require a salary cap because it allows players to earn the amount they deserve. Small market teams mishandle their funds and future funds, and baseball is more than a one player sport. Fans can collectively agree that they want to see their team succeed, to have the best players, and to not have another lockout. The challenge of meeting these agreements is financial problems and the topic of implementing a salary cap. The MLB needs to figure out a way to implement a salary cap that controls the excessive spending of big market teams and gives the small market teams more salary to improve their teams. A salary cap needs to be implemented to guarantee the talent of players evenly distributed among teams. Nevertheless, a salary cap should be required because there are too many successful big market teams. The salary cap would create an even playing field and allow star players to be evenly distributed and improve financial stability. So there you have it. There's my argument, at least, and I believe many others' argument on why there should be a salary cap. Unfortunately, I don't know when this will happen. I don't know if this will ever happen. I mean, there's obviously talks of it. We've seen recently. We've also, unfortunately, that's not what I wanted. We've also unfortunately seen talks of a lockout perchance coming in 2027. So on this article on New York Times, they did a survey. Are you in favor of salary cap system with cap and floor in MLB? 14,154 respondents, 68% said yes. Crazy. Hmm. And then the blame for the payroll disparity between small market to big market teams belongs to, and this was another survey, 14,129 respondents said 57% of the blame falls on the owners. And then 36% says it falls on both the players and the owners. Hmm. That's kind of that's kind of funny. Oh shoot. Fans realize they can't force owners to spend, so they would rather change the rules governing the spending. I mean, yeah, they're kind of not wrong. That's how I feel. Do you think MLB will miss games because of a lockout in 2027? 14,087 respondents. 77% said yes. Wow, that is incredible. To what degree would losing games due to a lockout negatively impact your fandom? 14,095 respondents. Significantly, 20%. Somewhat, 47%. Not at all, 33%. I guarantee that's Dodgers, Yankees, and Phillies fans. I guarantee it. The Astro fans might be in there too. Oh my lord. This is awesome. Win back a fifth of fans is, of course, count. The harder they push for aggressive structural changes, the more players will dig in. Yeah, I don't know. There probably is going to be a lockout soon, unfortunately. I hate to say it, and I hate to be that guy, but it's true. If we can't implement some sort of salary fix or an even level playing field, then I don't know. MLB's kind of cooked. But I have always said this is that baseball is that one sport where anybody can beat anybody on any given day. Like it does not matter. Like in football, like NFL, like of course your teams like um let's see. What's a good example? Like the Bills or the Broncos right now, or the Chiefs when they were a dynasty, or the Patriots when they were a dynasty. Like everyone thought they would win every single game. Okay, everyone thought they would win every single game. The only time they actually lost some games when they actually played really good teams, or they played a really bad team and they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. But with baseball, baseball is different. Baseball is so different. I feel like on any given day, anyone can win. It doesn't matter if you have your best pitcher out there. It doesn't matter if you have your worst pitcher out there. I feel like on any given day, any team can win. And, and that's because I think baseball is probably one of the hardest sports to play. I know I'm biased because I'm a huge baseball fan. I played baseball my entire life. But hitting a baseball is probably top three hardest things to do in any sport. Argue with a wall. Like Deion Sanders says, that ball up there, that does some stuff. It does some crazy stuff up there. It's it's ridiculous. So yeah, lockout might be coming for the MLB. Unfortunately, I would hate to see a lockout. I love watching MLB. I love watching baseball. I love watching my Reds, even though they leave me in poverty and sadness and depression every single year. I still love to watch them. I just love baseball, and I would hate to see a lockout, and I would hate to see some games or even like half the season go away because of this, because we can't agree on something. And I, I want Bryce Harper to shut his mouth. No, Bryce, just don't tell Rob Manfred to get the F out of the clubhouse again, please. I'd rather not have this sort of drama again. You're just, buddy, you left the. I could go on about Bryce Harper. I need to stop. Buddy, you left the Nationals, and then the year after you left, they won a freaking World Series. Oh my lord, poor Bryce. Hopefully Bryce can bring it home for Team USA. Hey, Team USA plays tomorrow though at 8 p.m. against. Can't remember who they play tomorrow. I spelled tomorrow. They play. Specify baseball. Let's see here. They play at 8 p.m. tomorrow at Dakin Park in Houston, Texas against Brazil. That is going to be 20-0. Brazil friggin' sucks. Brazil, the highest level of entry they had on their team, like professionalism, is someone on double A. Let me look at Brazil's roster. Starts up Brazil's roster. Gosh, I didn't even specify what sport. Brazil computer baseball. Brazil's baseball roster. Let's see if I recognize anybody on this team. So far, it's like no. I've never heard of any of these guys in my life, but I know someone's gonna be like, you know, oh, Bo Bichette. I know him. I know Mr. Bichette. He's not leading your team to a freaking World Baseball Classic championship, dude. I'm sorry. Who even? Dude, it's over right now. It's Oh my goodness. Is that actually that is Bo Bichette, right? Right. Yeah. Yes. Right? Is that him? Or hold on. Is this someone different? Or is this not Bo Bichette? Does Bo Bichette have a brother? Oh my gosh, he does. It's not even him. Oh my gosh, I thought that was just like a nickname. It's his brother. No. Dante Bichette Jr. I swear to God, I thought Bo was just a nickname and his real name was No freaking way. Oh my lord. When was the last time he played? It popped up. Hold on, let me go back. Oh, please show this again. Bro, the last time he played professional baseball, like, was 2019. Oh, dude, it's over. How old are you? For those listening, I searched it up and it said 62. This is not Dante Bichette. Oh, I need to add junior. 33. Okay. Oh my goodness, he has green hair. Shout out to the LGBT. That's right. I'll stop. Oh, he was on the Yankees at one point, like minor league. That's pretty cool. He was drafted by the Yankees in 2011. Interesting. Why am I doing research on Dante Bichette? I need to stop. I need to end this. All right. That was that was the MLB salary cap. Let me know if you think the MLB needs to have a salary cap. I will see you guys next time for the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. So, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Go Reds. Peace.